We begin our tangled tale in the midst of an extravagant soiree at the Saints HQ. In this flash forward, the Saints have already risen to power and have wiped out their rival gangs. To celebrate their conquest, they throw a huge party that can only be described as TwitchCon Light, a clout-chasing Olympics made up of the weakest group of gang members ever assembled. In the midst of all the debauchery, we see our main character mysteriously collapse outside with her phone in hand. She solemnly whispers,
"Why?"
as she is buried alive. Now we flash back to months earlier, where the real story begins. Our main character, we'll just call her Boss, is on her first day of work as a mercenary for Marshall Defense Industries, MDI for short. Boss is a newbie, nervously watching training videos and inquiring about dental plans and hazard pay as she's about to head into live combat. Gwen, her commanding officer, isn't having any of it, and chastises her for her entitled Karen attitude.
Your parents should have treated you better.
Yours should have treated you worse. All right, ladies and gentlemen, contrary to your colleague's demeanor, this is no laughing matter.
All of Boss's squad mates die instantly, but Boss lives and manages to capture their dangerous target, the Nawali. Unfortunately for her, her disobedient attitude prevents her from reaching a much-needed performance bonus.
There's supposed to be a bonus based on exceptional performance.
That's right. And if you had performed exceptionally, you would have seen a bonus.
Oh, come on. Can you really look me in the eyes and say I didn't do well?
I can look you in the eyes and say you didn't do what you were told.
Boss returns home to a rundown apartment she shares with her three best friends. Nina, a Mexican-American art connoisseur who is part of the Los Panteros gang. Kevin, an always shirtless DJ who is desperate to get a good waffle maker, cause god damn it, where can you find a good waffle maker? Kev is a former member of the Idols gang, a neon-colored pixie nightmare of Plur, and Eli, who's the brains of the crew. He's a LARP nerd who is trying to find his way as an entrepreneur and investor. Between the four of them, they somehow can't come up with enough money for rent. So what's their grand plan? Rob a payday loan place in broad daylight with no mask on. You know, to spite the man and all that shit. Day 2 at Marshall Industries goes as good as day 1, so terribly. Gwen uses Boss as a pawn in distracting Los Panteros so that MDI can recover the Hummingbird Codex, a Mayan artifact that was stolen by Panteros gang leader Sergio Valles. Atticus Marshall, the company founder, is impressed by Boss's courage and bravado, and promotes her as head of security at the museum where the Codex will be showcased. The gala party is crashed by both Los Panteros and the Idols. The Boss fights valiantly, even while she's put through the torturous task of listening to the Idols' manifesto on capitalist society.
Your so-called society is a failed experiment. It's time to put it to an end.
Boss is able to save an important Marshall board member, Myra Starr, but the museum is torn to shreds, and ultimately the Codex is lost to the Idols. Atticus fires Boss in anger. Boss, depressed and dejected, wallows in her misery for some much-needed sad girl hours. Meanwhile, Kevin and Eli attend an Idols party that is attacked by Los Panteros. Eli catches a stray and is gravely wounded. Boss and Nina arrive just in time to save Kevin and Eli, and the foursome barely escape with their lives. They rush back to the apartment to care for Eli's wounds, and Boss proposes they should start their own gang.
Guys, we're really good at what we do. So why are we doing it for other people and not ourselves? I mean, you know how to start a business. Kev knows how to get attention. I'm a walking murder party. And Nina? Nina's the best goddamn driver in the business. Who could touch us?
They all agree and settle down in an abandoned church on the city outskirts. The worn-down cathedral inspires them to call themselves the Saints. The Saints begin a lengthy gang war where they fight the Idols and Los Panteros for territory. In order to ramp up their operation, they decide they need to rob a Federal Reserve train. GTA 5, anyone? Boss believes they need more firepower. She decided the perfect candidate is the Nawali, the same lethal assassin she apprehended on her first day at Marshall Industries. The boss dons her old Marshall uniform, sneaks into Marshall's private prison, and breaks out the Nawali in a harrowing escape. Boss thinks it's a good idea to do some team building exercises so that the Nawali can experience some much needed bonding with the Saints. After their kumbaya session, the Saints storm the train, steal the money, and the Nawali kills Los Panteros leader Sergio. Just when it seems the Saints have finally won, a Marshall Industries lawyer approaches them and informs Boss that they are in breach of contract, as she agreed to a non-compete clause, meaning that the Saints' entire operation belongs to Marshall. Enraged, they storm MDI headquarters to demand their ventures back, but only find Myra Starr alone in the boardroom. She tells the Saints that she's wanted to overthrow Atticus for a long time and sells them on a plan to cause havoc and get Atticus removed as chairman of MDI. Boss steals one of MDI's new tanks and rampages the city to make the company look bad. Their plan works and the MDI stock price collapses. The board members panic and doubt Atticus's leadership. They vote him out and Myra Starr takes over. Once in power, she stays true to her word and gives the Saints all their assets back. Now the Saints can finally celebrate their victory. And we're back to where we started. The Nahualli congratulates her on the beauty of her life and accomplishments, but suddenly stabs her in the gut and tosses her into an open grave. He tells her he's jealous of her relationships with her friends and wants those things for himself. So instead of wanting to become part of the crew, he wants to become the boss in one of the weirdest psycho-Freudian twists we've ever seen. Boss drifts into a fairy tale afterlife dream and digs herself out of her grave. Literally. She enters the party and finds dozens of Saints members dead and her friends missing. She eventually tracks down the Nahualli at an abandoned casino where the Nahualli has Kev, Nina, and Eli role-playing their friendships with him like some perverse sitcom.
Could use some champagne. Thanks, Eli. Please, sit. So, what did you all do today?
You know what we did.
You're upset.
You think?
I do not like to see you upset.
Well, maybe you should have thought of that before.
Nina, please.
Boss confronts Nahualli, and they have a desperate struggle that leads to an old-fashioned Western standoff. And Boss comes away triumphant, as she's just a millisecond faster than the lethal assassin. Boss and her friends sit together and watch the beautiful sunset as they celebrate their final victory.